High in the vast Himalayan mountains, photographer Mark pauses during a quiet expedition. When a distant cry echoes across the rocky canyons, the sound carries through the cold air, unusual and urgent enough to make him stop and search the cliffs below. Through his binoculars, Mark notices movement far below on a narrow ledge carved into the mountain wall. A snow leopard is balancing carefully on a thin ledge that barely appears wide enough to support her weight. One of her hind legs is caught between fractured rocks, likely caused by a recent shift in the mountainside. Every movement sends small pieces of stone sliding into the deep valley below. Mark adjusts the focus on his camera lens and notices something remarkable about the animal. The leopard is expecting cubs, carrying the next generation of one of the world's most elusive mountain species. The snow leopards are known as the ghosts of the mountains, rarely seen and perfectly adapted to these remote landscapes. Yet in this moment, the powerful predator appears exhausted and uncertain. Mark realizes the situation could become critical if the animal remains trapped. Though he is not a professional rescuer, he carries climbing gear designed for difficult terrain. With careful thought, he decides to attempt a cautious approach to help the animal. Mark anchors his rope firmly into the frozen ground before beginning a slow descent down the steep cliff face. Cold winds swirl through the canyon, making every step require patience and focus. Below him, the snow leopard watches carefully, alert but too tired to move far. Mark pauses a few feet above the ledge, giving the animal time to become accustomed to his presence. He speaks in a calm, steady voice, hoping the tone will reassure the nervous animal. From his backpack, he carefully places a small piece of food on the ledge nearby. The leopard studies the offering cautiously before taking a small bite. The tension in the air slowly begins to soften. Mark steps carefully onto the narrow ledge beside the animal, keeping his movements slow and deliberate. Using a small climbing hammer, he begins loosening the stones trapping the leopard's leg. Each strike sends small pieces of rock falling away from the crack. After several careful attempts, the final piece shifts, and the leopard's leg comes free. The leopard remains still, recovering from the long effort of holding her position. Instead of moving away immediately, she inches closer to Mark. The animal gently leans against his backpack, seeking balance and support. For a moment, human and wild animal share the same fragile ledge high above the valley. Mark secures an extra safety strap to help support the exhausted animal during the climb upward, slowly and steadily. Then he begins climbing back toward the top of the cliff. The journey upward is slow and demanding in the thin mountain air. As the sun sets behind the peaks, the sky glows with deep shades of orange and purple. After a long and determined climb, Mark finally reaches the flat ground above the cliff. He gently removes the strap, allowing the leopard to rest in the soft snow. For several quiet moments, they remain side by side under the open sky. As morning light spreads across the peaks, the leopard slowly stands again. With steady steps, she begins walking back toward the rugged mountain landscape. Before disappearing into the rocks, she pauses for a final look. Weeks later, Mark sits outside his tent, enjoying the calm morning air of the mountains. A familiar shape appears quietly on a ridge nearby. The leopard has returned, and she is no longer alone. The young cub explores the world beside its watchful mother. For Mark, the moment becomes a powerful reminder of the fragile balance between humans and the natural world. Sometimes, even a small act of courage can help protect the future of life in the wild. If this remarkable story inspired you, share your thoughts below and celebrate the incredible resilience of wildlife.